everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Darian and today I am going to be talking about my favorite book to movie adaptations. So I have 7 movies to talk about today, so let's just get started. So my favorite one, the one I'm going to start with, is obviously Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I'm just kidding. That movie is trash. My actual favorite book to movie adaptation, which is objectively the best book to movie adaptation, you can fight me, but if you have a different opinion then it's wrong. But that is Catching Fire, which is obviously based on the second book in the Hunger Games series. This, first of all, I just want to address, I'm sorry I look so dark. It is nighttime right now and I don't know how to fix this, so we're just rolling with it. Catching Fire is not even just the best book to movie adaptation, it is one of my all-time favorite movies. It is such an objectively good movie. Like, I love that movie so much. I watched it pretty recently again with one of my friends and it holds up so well. It is just so amazing. It took everything that they decided to keep from the book was a good choice. I don't think they left out anything too important. I think they, especially in that book, there's so much that happens in that story. Like, they don't even get to the games until like halfway through the book, I think, from what I remember. And then in the arena, there's so much that happens. You have the different sections of the clock of the arena, and I don't think they took out any of them from the book. I don't remember, honestly. It's been a while since I read the book, but I thought they just did such an amazing job with the movie. I really liked the first Hunger Games movie, but they changed directors for the second one, and I think that Francis Lawrence, who was the director, oh my god, he did such an amazing job. And also, like, all of the actors in this movie were so spot on. I love Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss. I know some people don't like her, which I never really understood because she's such an amazing actress, and I think it seemed like people thought it started to be cool to not like her because she was very like kooky and stuff in interviews, and she was like, she's not like other famous girls, kind of like, she was kind of silly and no, I'm relatable, and so everyone started making fun of her and they didn't like her, and I never understood that. Like, I've always liked her. I think she's really funny and I think she's a really amazing actress, and like, I think she plays Katniss so well. Especially like the scene that always sticks out to me is when she finds out, this is like mild Hunger Games spoilers, but like, this isn't really a spoiler, I don't think, but the scene where she finds out that she's going back in the games and like her reaction, like, oh my god, it's so good. And obviously Finnick is in this movie and Sam Claflin, like, could there be a better Finnick? And now he's gonna be Billy in Daisy Jones and the Six. Oh my gosh. Anyways, and also Jenna Malone as Joanna. Like, that's such a perfect casting. Oh my gosh, she's so amazing in this movie. And like, I could literally go on. I could make a whole video about this movie, but like the cinematography and the music and the soundtrack for this movie, it's probably one of my favorite movie soundtracks. Like, in terms of like the actual soundtrack, not the score, but the score is also amazing. But like, if you haven't heard the Catching Fire soundtrack, you need to go listen to it on Spotify. Like, when that soundtrack came out, I think I was in grade 10, I think, so I was 15, 16, and I listened to that soundtrack non-stop for like weeks. Like, that's all I listened to. I had it on repeat every day for like a few weeks in a row. But like, oh, it's so amazing. Like, you have Coldplay, you have The Weeknd, you have Christina Aguilera, you have Of Monsters and Men, you have Ellie Goulding. Like, it's such a perfect soundtrack. Oh my god, I love it so much. Oh, and you have the Lumineers, obviously. Like, ugh. Anyways, so yeah, so that's my favorite book to movie adaptation of all time. It's so good. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. If you haven't for some reason watched Catching Fire yet, even if you haven't read the books, like, you should definitely go watch that movie. It's so good. I could, like I said, I could make a whole video about that, but I won't. Well, maybe I will. If you want to see that, let me know. But that's all I'll say about it for now because we need to move on. So the next movie I want to talk about is Little Women, the 2019 version, obviously based on Louisa May Alcott's book. I have seen the, I think it's 1994 version with Winona Ryder, and I do really like that version, but The Greta Gerwig version is just so good. It has such a special place in my heart. I thought, again, the casting in that movie was just perfect. Saoirse Ronan as Jo is like literally the most amazing choice for that role. She's so amazing. Saoirse Ronan honestly can do no wrong. I will watch anything she's in. I love her so much. And Florence Pugh as Amy, like, I thought Florence Pugh did such a good job because she plays Amy. Like, one thing I didn't like about the Winona Ryder version is the actress who plays Amy, like, they have Kirsten Dunst who plays the younger Amy, and then they get another actress for the older Amy, and I was like, who is this? Like, it didn't seem like Amy anymore because you just spent half the movie with Kirsten Dunst, and then all of a sudden there's this like random other girl. So I like that they kept one actress to play Amy for the whole movie, even though she grows like 7 years, and at the beginning she's like 12. Well, at the beginning, in the earlier timeline she's 12, and like obviously when you see, like, everyone makes fun of that scene where she's in a classroom and it's like Florence Pugh who's like in her 20s and then a bunch of like 12-year-olds. So clearly she doesn't look 12 there, but I thought she did such a good job at playing a 12-year-old without like making it look silly. Like, obviously, I don't know how to explain this, but obviously, like, if like I were to act like a 12-year-old, it would be really exaggerated probably, and I thought she did such a good job of actually seeming like a 12-year-old without it being like she's not 12. Like, I actually kind of believe that she was 12 when she wasn't like in the same scene as actual 12-year-olds. But anyways, yeah, and Timothy Chalamet, we love that man. Oh, and Laura Dern, like Meryl Streep, like what else could you want? I don't know. And I thought it was such a genius decision for Greta Gerwig to, instead of having like the earlier timeline kind of, and then skipping 3 years and then the later timeline, instead she had like the movie goes back and forth between the past and the present, and the way she does this is so good because like in the past it has warmer hues and then in the present it's colder hues, and I thought this was especially, like, this worked especially well when, I guess spoiler alert, but again I feel like everyone knows this, but spoiler alert for Little Women, but when Beth dies, when you have in the past when she almost died versus the present where she does die, and you have like Jo waking up and wondering where she is and her running down the stairs, and in the past like she runs down to see the mom and Beth sitting there, but then you see her in the present and she runs down and it's just her mom crying. Like, oh, I cried so much watching this movie. Oh, it's so good, and the music is beautiful, and I mean, again, like, there's just so many good moments, and like the 4 actresses who played the sisters were all like, I thought they had such good chemistry, and oh, it was so good, you know? Women. Women. I really love that movie. Okay, so the next movie I'm gonna talk about, I'm kind of cheating because I didn't actually read this book, but I love this movie so much, so I figured I would talk about it, and I am planning on reading the book one day, so there you go. But that is Pride and Prejudice, the 2005 version, I think, the one with Keira Knightley. I never saw the like BBC version with Colin Firth. I know a lot of people like that one better, but like the one with Keira Knightley is so good. Oh my gosh, it's just like, it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, and I love Mr. Darcy. I don't know what that actor's name is, but like, he's really cute. Yeah, I just love that movie. It's just so good. It just makes me feel so happy, and I mean, we all know about the iconic hand scene. That sounds kind of weird out of context, but like, you know what I'm talking about if you've seen it, like the hand scene. You know what I'm talking about. Like, such perfect tension. Anyways, it's so good, and like the ending, the payoff is just so good. I don't know what else I could say about this. It's just such a beautiful story, and I can't wait to read the book one day. And yeah, I really need to rewatch this movie soon because it's so good. And I'm pretty sure Keira Knightley was like 20 when she filmed that, and I'm like, girl, she is so pretty, like. Anyway, so yeah, I love that movie, and it's so beautiful too, like, especially that last scene, you know, like, you know, that scene at the end. Ugh, that scene is so beautiful. Look at it. I love it. The next movie that I want to talk about is Room. This is based off the book by Emma Donoghue, which I've talked about a few times on my channel, and I saw the movie before I read the book, So you probably all have heard of this movie. It was really popular when it came out in 2014, I want to say. Brie Larson's in it. She won the Oscar for it. And it was, I mean, the movie, I saw it in theaters by myself and I cried. Like the whole second half of the movie, I just started crying and I couldn't stop. It was so emotional, and the movie is just so well done, and I love Jacob Tremblay. I'm still mad that he wasn't nominated for an Oscar. Like, that is by far one of the best child performances I've ever seen. He is so good in this movie, and obviously Brie Larson is amazing. Like, she definitely deserved that Oscar. But this movie is so... it's so good. I know, like, I'm saying that about all these movies, but yeah, I just thought there was just so much emotion. And when I did read the book, there is a lot of differences between the movie and the book. Like, the story is generally the same, but they did make a lot of changes, but I was okay with all the changes they made. Like, I kind of understand why they took some stuff out and they changed a few things. But if you have seen the movie and haven't read the book, I really, really recommend it. The book is amazing. But yeah, like, the movie, it's just, I mean, if you've read the book and haven't seen the movie, then I recommend that too. But it's so, like, I don't know how to really talk about it too much without spoilers, but it's just so emotional. Like, okay, here's another spoiler, even though, again, I feel like even if you haven't seen the movie, you know that this happens, but spoilers for Room in case you haven't seen it or read it. But, like, the part where, oh my gosh, the whole escape and the part where they go back to get the mom, when they get Brie Larson and he's in the police car, oh my god, that scene makes me cry so much every single time. It's so good. Ugh, it's so good. Okay, the next movie is a pretty popular choice, and I don't know if people actually don't like this movie, but I really love it. It's The Fault in Our Stars, which is based on the book by John Green. When I read this book, I loved it, and I feel like if I read it now, I would still love it. Like, that is a really good book, and that movie, listen, there's not a lot of YA books that they made into good movies. Like, I mentioned Catching Fire. I think that's the only one I've mentioned so far. Yeah. So, like, I could name a lot of YA books that got turned into really bad movies, but this was not one of them. I thought this movie was really well made. I thought the script was great. I thought the acting was great. Laura Dern is in this too. Like, Laura Dern, I love her. That women. But anyways, yeah, I really love that movie. I think it was maybe in danger of being way too soap opera-ish, I guess. Like, I think it could have been really easy to make that movie, but make it, like, way too melodramatic and sad, but I thought they did a really good job with the story, and obviously it was still really tragic and sad, but I thought they took it seriously. I find a lot of YA book to movie adaptations, they don't take it seriously enough, and they treat it like it's for young people, but, like, you know, the way adults see young people. So they're like, this doesn't need to be that good, it's just young people seeing it. Like, that's how I see a lot of YA book to movie adaptations, and with this I didn't feel like they did that. I thought they took the story and really treated it with care and treated it seriously, and I think it came out really well, and it was really emotional, and I really love it, and I don't care what anyone says, so there you go. Okay, the next movie is another generic answer, but I love this movie and I don't care. It's The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I mean, I think I did read the book before I saw the movie when it came out, but I really liked this book, but I think I do kind of like the movie a little bit more, but it's been so long since I've read the book. But anyways, I thought the movie was so good. I thought Logan Lerman was the perfect choice for, I want to say Charlie, is that his name? And okay, side note, I really miss Logan Lerman. I want him to be in more stuff. Like, he's so good and I like him a lot, okay? But anyways, I thought he was such a perfect choice for Charlie. Charlie? Is that his name? I think it is Charlie. And Emma Watson, like, is her accent the best? No, but I still think she's pretty good in the movie, and again, this is another one where I think it could have turned out really like soap opera-ish, whatever, and they could have not treated it seriously, but I think they did, and I think it turned out really well. So Yeah, I love the scene, like the when they're at the dance and they're dancing to Come On Eileen. I love that scene. But yeah, I love that movie. Okay, the last the last movie I'm going to talk about might be a bit of a controversial pick. So I know a lot of people don't like this book, and so like the movie objectively is not great, but the movie is such a guilty pleasure for me, and when I read this book, I really loved it. I don't know how I would feel about it now. It's been like 5 or 6 years since I read it, but I'm talking about Me Before You. Listen, when I saw this movie, I loved it so much, and I think I've seen it 2 or 3 times now, and I cry so much every time. I mean, Sam Claflin, again, like, I love him. I love this man. And also Emilia Clarke is so freaking likable. I love her. She seems like such a delightful person. Like, oh, I love her so much. She's the perfect choice for Louisa? Is that her name? I don't remember, but I thought their chemistry was just really good in this movie, and I remember I finished the book like literally right before I saw the movie. The movie stayed like super faithful to the book. Like, I think they changed barely nothing, which I really liked. But I know a lot of people don't like this book, so I don't know how I would feel if I read it now. But I really like this movie. I think it's really cute, and it's really sad, and it makes me cry. And is it a bit problematic? Yes, but I don't know. There's just something about it that I really like, and I love Sam Claflin, and maybe that's the majority of why I like it. Yeah, I really like it. So yeah, so those are my favorite book to movie adaptations. I'm hoping I'm not forgetting anything, but also there is a chance that I am. But let me know if any of these are your favorite book to movie adaptations, or if you hate any of these, which I'm sure you do. Again, I'm sorry about the lighting in this video. I hope it's not too bad and that, you know, you can still watch it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys soon with another video soon. Bye!